right now. Eric and I were at the Queer Night conference in Santa Cruz yesterday, and I was performing on stage as well, and there was a waterfall, like, just dripping down my face, just like right now. So please excuse me as I try to get comfortable amongst the nerves and the heat. This next poem, love letter number 2. This one's for my best friend. Does anyone, it's a long shot, but does anyone know Justine Rivero? Okay, yeah, so Justine Rivero is my best friend. We've been best friends since 3rd grade, and she just graduated from Berkeley in June. She couldn't be here today, but this is a poem I wrote for her while we were both doing our undergraduates in different schools. I told you a few centuries back that I owe you a love letter, that someday I'll write you so beautiful that even God will have to forgive me for taking this long to start it. It would mean a lot to me if you could forgive me too. 14 years past our younger selves, Mrs. Hagen's 3rd grade class where we first exchanged commitment rings with our smiles, you let me borrow your Lisa Frank rainbow eraser. And swear up and down your mother's rosary beads that I never gave it back to you. I wonder if rainbow has a double meaning in this memory. Next to me and Shayna, you were the cutest brown girl I've ever seen outside of the North Beach projects. And I've never really been to the Philippines until you invited me over to your house. Also, never really listened to rock music until you unashamedly started rocking out to what I know now as Don't Speak by No Doubt. You seem like one of those white brown girls that I eventually turned into later on down the road. But this is not about me, so take me back to your home in the Philippines. Your mother's dining room table was always decked out to the nines. Fresh lumpia, chunky caldereta, hot pancit, tocino, sweet longanisa, balut, lechon kawali. I could have easily mistaken myself for a Filipina native every time I was over. Immigrating here from the Philippines when you were 5 years old against your forbidden love affair with the land, there's no way you could have known that the promise to go to Disneyland would mean devotion to learning the ways of this land. 2nd grade teacher scolded you for pledging your allegiance to the Philippines. Assumed that you didn't speak English, which you didn't, but the point is that she was too ignorant for instruction and that nobody knew how to read your brown skin. A new language that you couldn't learn in any grade school textbook. You weren't afraid to kiss the sun in public, and I loved that. Singing dark melodies to the tune of melanin playing in your bones, as deep as your blood could flow, as hot as her blood could boil. Like sun, your mother couldn't stand to look at you when you got too dark. 16, growing into tits and ass and thighs and hips used like knives to carve miracles out of swollen bellies. When you're ready, your mother only forgives you if you promise her that you will never grow up. Today, at 22 and still tender, you don't go to mass anymore. You stopped praying to God altogether. Your hair is as short as mine. Your skin's gotten darker over time, and you curse and make love and fuck and lie and cheat and kiss and cry and feel and live and heal. And sometimes you love your mother so much that you just stay on your side of the bay for another weekend. Just until the fog between the two of you can settle, metal padlock on your tongue. It's not worth the trip right now. Baby, you're not the type to settle when it comes to relationships. Never feeling like everything you have is good enough, a nomad to your head's logic. You stay fiending for your heart's desires, even though you're not entirely sure what those are right now. You know a few things, though. That your wings fail to fit within the width of a wedding band, that you already paid your dues, and yet still can't shake the fact that fidelity just doesn't come natural to you, that you can't wrap your head around monogamy no matter how many times you spin in tight circles. If your boyfriend is watching you, then good. It's about time that he stands next to me without the holy water or Catholic priest or unsigned written agreements intended for the so-called redemption of your purity, and witness with his own eyes that you are human when we all think we can touch you, and you are the universe each time you think we don't love you. Why do you think you're always wanting more? From how I see it, we don't see each other much, frankly, because you got into UC Berkeley and I didn't. It's okay. I'm over it now. And I'm still brilliant. And you are still the smartest person I know. in this lifetime. I've only known you for 14 years, and being away at college is the longest we've ever been away from each other. So in the past 4 years of your absence in my immediate life, there are a few more things that I want to tell you, Justine. Some of them right now, others I'll tuck under my pillow for later and pull them out when I'm ready. This is our 4th graduation together and our first one apart, and all I want to say to you right now is, I see you when you tell me that all you want to do is go home. I speak softly with choice words and muffled tears because I don't want to hear it. At the same time, I am fanning out your wings because you are incredibly beautiful in the way the word used to mean. And this time around, I know you just might take flight at any given moment. And going back home to the Pacific is way better than going to the Atlantic to NYU for grad school. Didn't even know that was an option in your plans till it slipped out like a secret on the phone that one time. Yes, I did hear you say it, so please, don't candy coat it with your sweet smile. You know I can't articulate myself if I'm melting. I can't stand that we wait till the last minute to talk about the rest of our lives together. You are the first lover I've ever really fallen for. I hate that I'm so anxious right now and that you're not here with me. That I just started writing this to you in this lifetime. Do you remember, Justine, when I asked you to forgive me? I promise you, I did. I asked you to forgive me. I'm just scared. Because I told you a few centuries back that I owe you a love letter. But someday I'll write you so beautiful that even God will have to forgive me for waiting this long to start it, and it would mean the world to me. You could forgive me too. Thank you.